passes. Here is Evan Mobley. He'll find Jalen Tyson. Tyson and Wade back in that Cavaliers starting lineup as Donovan Mitchell opens the scoring with a three. Grabs a big offensive rebound. Mitchell gets 2 feet in the paint and gives the Cavaliers a 5-0 lead.
Also back by Tyson. The nice offensive rebound offensively, and then we want to get to the free throw line a little bit more, be a little more physical.
Mobley works on Achua. He'll float it up against his body, and the Cavs have the first 7 points.
There's a good job walling off Westbrook there. Forced them into taking a pretty tough shot.
Mobley muscles right through the youngster and gives the Cavaliers an 11-0 lead.
Yeah, we keep all pining for that. Hoping we can get back to some semblance of that, and I think it's coming.
Mobley knows he can take it right at Reno for the second straight off. You talked about it at the top of the telecast. The Cavs have been happier with their starts as of late, and tonight is no exception.
And offensively, they are just absolutely
Cavs, after a terrific offensive first half, here's Sabonis. He'll send it inside. Sabonis finds the rookie out of Auburn, Dylan Cardwell, who dunked and trims that cap. And Schroeder has checked in. More veterans as there's Sabonis inside. Sabonis returned from a lengthy injury just a handful of days ago. He's played 3 of the last 4. Dennis Schroeder and Cardwell on the floor for the visitors as Mitchell took a bump. He floats it up and in. Boy, he got chucked by the rookie out of Colorado State.
Juan Tomlin, the lightning bolt.
Keep an eye on 35 in wine and gold. Schroeder, he's got it. Well, entering the season, the Kings by his starting 5. The Cavaliers jumped all over the Kings 16-2, Monk wide open. He does not miss many of those.
Keeping that ball alive, keeping possession alive, give yourself a chance.
Sabonis barrels down the lane and finds Cardwell in that dunking spot, and now it's Kenny Atkins in each of their last 2. Donovan Mitchell has re-entered along with Jared Allen. Mitchell finds Allen as Allen roars down the lane and hammers it home.
Nice play, nice, good job by the Cavs.
Sabonis got doubled by Porter. Off it goes to Schroeder. He's got it. And it's Schroeder has opened. Monk on the bounce. Sends one back to Sabonis. Sabonis leans into a 3 and trims that Cavalier timeline. They'll play through Sabonis. Sabonis back to Monk after he drew a triple, and Malik Monk gives the Kings the
be absolutely a problem to play anyone who plays it.
Mitchell walks into the nail and finds Mobley. Mobley dunks. Mobley's fine. First quarter continues.
But they're also moving that basketball, so Cavs just have to make some adjustments.
Here he is again on cue. You know, over Sabonis' 10-year career, he has averaged 5. Sabonis guarded Evan Mobley as Doug Christie changes some things up. It's Achua who runs the floor, and he lays it in. Larry Nance has checked in for the Cavs. And early in this ball game was 14, has evaporated. Kings by 5. Proctor for 3. Hey, knocks it down.
Oh, Tyrese Proctor, I'm at practice.
8-minute consistency, that rhythm. That ball heads out toward Levine. Levine's 3 rattles in. Cavalier defense is significant uptick.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about 58 offensive rebounds in the last 4 games for this Cavalier team, so that's significant.
And sustainable.
That's sustainable. Fun to watch those Laker teams with Kobe Bryant on them.
Tyson fires a 3. He knocks it down. Kenny Atkinson, we asked him about Kobe's 81 points. Gets it off iron. Ball eventually ends up in the hands of Achua, who turns into the forecourt and makes a pretty pass to a streaking Malik Monk.
Cavs not showing a lot of patience there on that offensive end, John. Just trying to get themselves, force themselves into a tough situation. You get under that basket, you got to get that ball out of the offers. It's really weird. It must be me. My fingers are big. I think I must be hitting the wrong number.
Mobley twists around Westbrook. Double punches. He puts it up and in as he avoided.
Oh, you don't have to go. It doesn't have to be unscathed. It doesn't have to be locked up in a battle. You just go. And if you get bumped, who cares? Shoot it.
Sometimes you need to be reminded. Sees Porter and his 3 go up the back iron. Hey, the Cavs aren't going to like that one in the tape room as Levine gets loose and gives the Kings a 61-60 lead.
They burned poor Doug a couple times. It's not going to happen.
Mitchell off a screen. Oh, tough shot as he beat the shot clock. It's poked toward the sideline where it's grabbed by Schroeder. Schroeder doesn't hesitate as his nice first half continues. Schroeder's an economic. He was brilliant at the Euro Cup tournament over the summer. His team Germany came away with gold, and Schroeder won the MVP award as first half is back and forth we go. 2 to go. Cavs by 2. Westbrook, he wants a 3.
Substitutions were made by Sacramento and just never adjusted to that level of play. See if they can do a better job coming out of here.
Westbrook buries a three. Trevor that appeared to hit Allen in the midsection.
Slammed into Jarrett with his forearm.
Mitchell.
Lucky one there.
Dancing on a Chua. He buries a three. Away by Jarrett Allen. Mobley on the run. Angles in. Gives to Allen. That was gorgeous. Big to big. And Allen cuts that Kings lead to 1.
Nice play
by Mobley. Out come the Cavs. They trail by 3. Mitchell looking to get around to Chua. He'll lay it up and in. Donovan Mitchell has a game-high 20.
Everyone gets a little bit of the heat, the stress, and the difficulty of trying to get through this 82-game season. It's pretty arduous, pretty tough.
Westbrook nails a three. The Sacramento bench has gone for 16 points. He's grabbed 7 rebounds and dished out 6 assists as Evan Mobley has an answer at the other end.
Sacramento team, they want to spread you out and attack. Make them take some jump shots. Let's prove that they can make some shots.
Tyson right through Sabonis. He puts it up and in and has it. The Cavs, it has been back and forth ever since. Tyson for 3. Got it. What a confident stroke by Jalen Tyson. And Cardwell. Evan with a pump fake. Lets the burrow inside. Eventually floats it up and in. The Kings were yelling for a travel. Tomorrow night are in Orlando to take on the Magic. First of 2 straight. But should be a fun couple of affairs as Malik Monk buries a 3. You can get your... The Kings bench has scored 52 of its 87 points. Hunter pulls up and Cooley drops a 12-footer.
Yeah, that's what throws you.
Westbrook's down. The Cavs have a 5-on-4 if they hurry. Mitchell back to Hunter. Wide open for 3. Hey! Knocks it down.
Nice job, Westbrook.
Picked up eventually by Allen. He'll dump it off to Naquan Tomlin. Now it's Nance. Nance late in the shot clock. Big side rebounds. Tipped out of bounds. Last off Sabonis. Delivery. Monk can't hit. There's Sabonis. Cavs by 7. 2 minutes in, 4th quarter. For the Cavs, see how long can he rise with this 5. Some Tomlin's trying to get loose. He spins and scores. He took it right around Westbrook and was able to deliver by Cardwell. Schroeder, he'll pull up, dump off to Monk. Monk's 3 is good. Here come the Kings again. They've
got to do a little bit more communicating. Got to double team that basketball to stop it.
Porter open. That's
big shot.
Big time clutch shot.
Big shot by Craig Porter. Really big.
Porter. DeRozan uses that length. Dumps down to Sabonis. Sabonis once again. Right on the doorstep. Feeds Mobley. Mobley wants a clear out here. He wants to work on Cardwell. He gets across the lane. He left it short, however, and there's Sabonis. It'll bounce ahead to Schroeder. Schroeder throws by Wade. DeRozan goes to work. He spins. Wade stayed down the first time. DeRozan floats it up and in. He makes it a 1-point.
Should have been able to come away with that basketball without giving up a layup.
Mobley turns the corner on Schroeder. Floats over Sabonis. That's rebounded by the Kings. Hogan heading back down the floor. 2.5 to go from Cleveland. Mitchell. Hey! Knocks it down. Donovan Mitchell.
And be aggressive.
Sabonis overplays Mobley. Sabonis with the steal. He missed it. Mobley back the other way. I think everybody was waiting for a potential whistle. Mitchell! We have a foul. It's on the floor, and it's on Cardwell of the kick. Down the stretch. Sabonis hands off to Monk. Monk inside. Back to Sabonis. Schroeder's open for 3. No! Rebounded by Tyson. The Cavs get a big to go. Now on the 4th, but they give it away. Monk with the steal. Monk with the 3. No good. Rebounded by Mobley. Oh, boy. Mitchell's desperately trying to get to that ball. Monk shadows. Mitchell gets there, gives to Tyson. Tyson floats it up and floats it in. Monk wants a 3, goes to Westbrook. He'll fire that 3. Allen was out there. Russell tried to draw a foul. Nothing doing. The Cavs rebound. Mitchell escaped with 33. Mobley with 29, 13, and 8 assists. DeRozan now has 20. See if the Kings wave the white flag here. Mitchell does have to get over the timeline, and that will do it. A workmanlike performance tonight by the Cavaliers as they hold off the Kings.